Alrighty guys, welcome back to another Dokkan battle video, and today we gotta talk about the Dokkan community because it seems like everybody's been losing their minds since the new Supreme Magnificent Battle Fight came out. The next generation of Saiyans, the one that introduces Goten, Kid Trunks, and Gohan. Now, everybody's been losing their mind because the new shiny units, especially him, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, he's not made for this fight. And I know immediately people are going to think, that doesn't make sense. The new unit should be dominant across the board in every fight. While that has been true in the past, it seems for Dokkan's case, in recent events, they've been trying to make sure each of the premium characters have a use in certain events, especially certain of the more higher tiered power events. Some events that hit harder, either start of the turn or either last longer, more than 7 turns, like festival battles so it's like there's many different events and there's many different style of fights now, and so I believe Dokkan wants to go in a way where every character that they release can have an equal opportunity to be usable. Obviously, that's making a lot more people want to summon for each and every character because obviously the new shiny hotness is Super Saiyan Gohan with the tag. It's the tag that goes into Trunks and then Goten. Now, people are losing their mind only because of it's like a feels bad moment if you summon for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and let's say Rose is like some of your favorite characters. They're not going to be doing that well in this event with like say Trunks, who's hitting 5 million turn 1 for normals or 12 million super attacks. But we're not going to say these units are bad either because they have a specific role. Now, the new events is geared towards dodge characters, being able to dodge and then attack. A lot of these new events don't have the health pool as the tougher fights back in previous metas or previous anniversary celebrations. So the way that they want to go about this is if you can dodge them, if you can counter, and then your characters can attack, these Supreme Magnificent fights are easy. Like the health that Gohan has for how much damage he does, it's like he's a glass cannon. You touch him once with the new units and he's dead. But the problem is he touches you once and there's no units that can guard against that. You can say all you want, but there's no units in this game that turn one can tank an 11.2 super. There are some units that can dodge and can counter, but that's kind of the point. That they don't want you to just be using this guy, you know. I think he's still the best unit in the game. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, he does almost everything you want a great unit to do. This is just not the event for him though. You know what this screams? This screams Omega. High levels of damage reduction. Can absolutely buff his teams to hell with this right here. He has 50% damage reduction starter turn, and he has the plus additional for characters who belong to GT bosses. Now, that helps him and allows him to tank, especially he counters unarmed super attacks. Now, what is Gohan? Unarmed super attack. Okay, so we're gonna go right back to what Gogeta is. Gogeta can't counter that. He counters Ki Blast supers. So obviously, right off the bat, you don't want to use a character like this because he's not going to be at his full power. And people are like, oh, that means he's not number one. And they're calling a lot of comparisons with this Goku with the Super Saiyan 4 Goku right here. The difference between this unit and then this unit right here. This unit, this Super Saiyan 4 Goku, is meant to be in slot 1. He can't do anything else but sit in slot 1. You know why? This right here. He literally has to sit in slot 1. People are comparing this unit like like Gogeta can't do anything else. Gogeta is just a great character across the board. You could put him on any team, any of his teams. He links pretty good with everybody else. He's a shocking speed character, so a lot of the Super Saiyans and the fusion characters are going to have shocking speed. A lot of the Gohans, a lot of the Super Saiyan 2 or fusion characters just naturally have that shocking speed link, so he's going to link well with a lot of the big name characters. He still has Kamehameha and Super Saiyan, so it's not him that's a problem. People are thinking that this character is just going to age out terribly like this character has. Now, does anybody know what the difference between this character being bad when he came out, or after aging bad after he came out, and this character being bad after they came out? They were meant to be in one slot. Slot 1. Slot 1. The reason they aged fast is because they can't handle that. The numbers got bigger for bosses, while their defense is just going to stay the same since they came out. Obviously, that's power creep. Now, Gogeta, none of this says he has to be in a certain slot. People choose to bring him in a fight that has him at a disadvantage. Number one. Then they try to say, oh, a slot 1 unit that can't slot 1. That's not correct, because these are slot 1 units. They have to be in slot 1 to get their full buff. Literally in their passive, it says, as the first attacker, you get everything that they want. Especially for this Goku, because the entire purpose of his whole kit is to get hit so you can get his buffs. Gogeta, everything is just given to him. Everything is just given to him at the start of turn. He gets attack when attacking. He gets defense when he's getting attack. Can counter Ki Blast supers. That's literally how we want a character to be built. And now people are coming back to say this character has always been the GOAT because of their dodge. Now, dodge always ends up aging fast or better than a character that's just dominant in slot 1, because obviously there's going to be higher numbers. The bosses are going to scale higher later on and hit harder to bring units like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta down, and so on and so forth. So obviously if you can dodge attacks, you can mitigate that damage, or kind of negate that whole like losing a lot of health. That's the purpose of this whole fight. Because when they say, oh, a slot 1 unit can't slot 1, I'll do this for you guys. You can find me one character that can tank that 11 million super slot 1 that isn't a counter character, isn't an unarmed super counter character. Go. I will scroll, and you can stop me when you find a character that can do that. Because it doesn't exist in this game. The purpose of the battle is to dodge and then attack. They have no health for a reason. Now, if they had the health that like look at Gohan. If they had the health that like people were saying they had, I could understand, because now you're kind of putting one of the better units out of a fight for long periods of time, and you can't use him. So I understand with people getting mad about that. But people are acting like this unit's back. This unit and this unit, as great as they are for him, great as they were for these two, the reason why they're always going to be sort of in relevancy is because they're dodge characters. The primary focus of bringing them on their team is that they will dodge attacks, leading to you taking less damage. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and units like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, they want to get hit to display that they can tank the attacks, and then there are units that do a lot more damage. Now, the problem is, you can't immediately like go into a fight, especially one of these supreme magnificent battles, and like get Gogeta's active skill, because he does take a lot of damage. I'm not gonna lie, he will take a lot of damage because he's guarding. He has 30% damage reduction, but again, Gohan's hitting for like 11 million, so it's kind of like, oof. Hold on, let me pull it back, Gohan. Yeah, Gohan's doing like 4 million turn one, which isn't the crazy thing. It's just that super. He's gonna super you first, and it's gonna be like, okay, he's he's gonna take some. You're obviously Super Saiyan 4 is gonna take some damage from that. But people are acting like these units are leagues are better than him. They dodge. They take more damage than Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. They will literally take more damage than him. They will literally take more. It's if people can read this, if they do not dodge, they will get clapped up by this new event. It's just as simple as that. Now, this unit is like one of the more polarizing ones because I will say they're kind of number two if you want to say that. It's not a far gap between them and Gogeta because they just have a lot they can do. They have so much tech to them. Obviously, you have the dodge, the damage reduction, the good defense when they super attack, and then you got this Vegeta, right? When you can obviously do the tag switch, Vegeta with this active skill gives him guard, the damage reduction. It makes him in a way like, and he has the support, by the way, and he gives support, which kind of makes him a lot more versatile. I don't know why that's why people want to give him that extra credit other than the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, but they're not able to do the damage that he's able to do. And in events where it isn't predicated towards dodge or die, you still have this. And then you still have this. So it's kind of like, I see the arguments where people are trying to go for, but when you look at the way these events are styled, like, Omega's team absolutely washes this Gohan. You get a full team with the GT bosses, with Omega running the point, having like matching 6-link with Sin. He's gonna counter the first super, tank the attacks, and he's gonna one-turn Gohan in both phases almost. So it's kind of like, yeah, he's good for this event, but you don't want to say he's the better character because we look at everybody's performance in special battles. Omega doesn't do too well, you know, because he has to carry around all these lame ass units for 6-7 turns with him. But for a quick turn fight, he doesn't really have to worry about that. It's only him that has to attack. Gogeta, on the other hand, he can carry the fight. He can carry a lot longer fights because he's supporting, and plus he has that active skill, which you can't really get this active skill off in the Supreme Magnificent Battle, which is kind of the main reason why Gogeta is still, you know, number one. You have this with this and this. He's still an untouchable unit. And then the amount of damage that he's able to do, there's not a lot of bosses that can kind of stand in front of this Gogeta with the amount of attacks he's doing. He's able to drop like 330 million attack stats if you just go for the normal. So it's kind of, and he's critting on a lot of his attacks. He just has crit everywhere. Like, so it's hard to say that, like, okay, just because of this new event, I'm gonna move some of these characters up and down like drastically. I'm not like the community here. They lost their minds with this Blue Goku and Vegeta saying they're back. And they're not. You know why? Because when difficult fights stop becoming 3 to 4 to 5 turn fights, this unit with their high chance of dodging, their only 50% chance of dodging, is not enough to say they're good. This unit now has a lot of tech, you know, obviously the new tag unit, new probably everything about them is better than their counterpart from the same saga. Because they have the guard, the support, you know, the active skill if you wanted to do the Vegito active skill gives them the 20% buff, you know. Actually permanently, that's a permanent buff as well, right? No, that's Vegeta. What up? Let me see Goku. I think Goku gets that. Yeah, it's 20% in battle. Yep, and attacks guaranteed to hit. You see that? They just have, you know, different usability. So I don't get too up on the choosing which one is better. But if we do want to go that route, come on guys, we already know. Amatsu knew what he was doing with this unit. That's why for Tanabata, I have a sneaky suspicion that we might be getting another GT character that goes along with this Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Because he doesn't yet have, he has a partner, he has an amazing Link partner, but they're turn 4 and after. He's, you know, he's a really good partner because he can dodge as well as this Super Saiyan 3 Goku. But we're looking for that sort of the sort of partner that Omega has. Kind of like the starter turn, have 6 to 7 links with him at least, and can actually support him. Let me pull up GT Heroes real quick. We're waiting for you. Waiting for him or the Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Either one. And actually, Tanabata is supposed to be September. So, hey, this unit is about 2 years old. They probably wouldn't go for it, but if they wanted to help out this Gogeta right now, they could drop that Goku EZA right away. And then we have this character. Chat, y'all seen what I'm seeing, right? Damage reduction right here. We change that to just attacks performed. Take away some of these, or give him guard in slot 1. And then you have the incredible standby skill. Obviously, the standby that drops the Universal Spirit Bomb. That would help Gogeta's team a lot because it's really just him that's able to push out damage, and he doesn't have somebody on his team that can revive if necessary. This character can, but they're a little bit weaker. Now Gogeta he's doing the best he can because he's still supporting them. You know, that's why I think it's kind of crazy to say that, you know, a unit that just came out is trash, even though he's supporting a lot of the dead weight that is on his team right now. This right here, given Superclass Allies 3 key and 70% defense, you can get away in some events with using this unit, but they're just not tanky enough, and they just don't do the same amount of damage. Obviously, they're 2 years old. We're not going to complain about that, but that 2 years old meaning that they can get that EZA soon. So I wouldn't hate on Gogeta too much. There's definitely a lot of things coming in the chimney, especially down the line for the celebrations. We got 2 big celebrations to worry about, so people already calling it quits on Gogeta's like, oh, yeah, I don't know Amatsu yet. Yeah, I don't know how much he loves the Super Saiyan 4s. Yeah, I didn't see this. Yeah, I didn't see this EZA. He made it way better for the Super Saiyan 4s. He's gonna do it again.
You are a fool to challenge a god. I'll call the anger of the gods in